Okay, it is 6 o'clock. I'm calling the meeting, the Cedar Creek Township Board meeting to order on Tuesday, October 12th at 6 o'clock p.m. We are meeting at the Cedar Creek Township Hall. We have new people with us this evening, so for those of you who have not been with us before, the format is as follows. There are two public comment options. The first applies to anything you see before you. If you picked up an agenda in the back, the first public comment option is to anything that applies on the agenda. You have 2 minutes presentation time frame. The second public option is for board comments and applies to anything that is on your mind that is, I'm not making very much sense here, but
anything not on the agenda. Anything else.
Yeah, anything that's not on the agenda, but anything that is of interest to you about the township. Also, that's 2 minutes. You'll see Andy O'Reilly is taping this, so please be kind. And he is from Lakeshore Creative Services. He'll put this on the website within the next couple days. So, Mr. Hamwich, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, yes, please, Stephanie.
Roll call. Trustee Wright,
Here.
Treasurer Jarvis,
Here.
Trustee Foster. Here. Clerk Kuziak, you're here. Supervisor Arts.
Yes. All right, I see on the agenda, I made one typo under the new business treasures. That should be 10, it's under MTA Professional Development. Treasures should be 27/28 in the date. So with that, if I could have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I don't think we need a roll call for that.
I will consider the roll call because I saw everybody.
Okay. All right. Next, you have received a copy of your minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay.
I did see a couple of,
Oh, yes.
just a couple of things where the board members present are listed. Clerk Kuziak is not listed at all. She should be listed as absent excused.
Okay.
And then there was one other just small thing, after the guest, when you talk about Scott Faulkner, the very last sentence of that paragraph says PowerPoint attached. I think that
Oh,
should be
that was
taken out.
probably not supposed to be there.
That's what I figured.
She probably copied and pasted and.
Actually, that should be attached and placed on the website, and we should do that.
So it should be.
It should be.
As part of the package.
Yeah, it
Okay.
should be, and I did not do that, so we should paste that
Oh.
PowerPoint on the
Good idea.
website.
Okay.
Yes,
So leave that.
so we should do that.
Okay, I will
so-
leave that on there then and just change and add me as absent.
I believe we can do that as a PDF. I'm hoping we can do that. I believe we can do that, so,
Well, how about in the motion, Bob, that you state the correction, or Heather state the correction, and then,
Motion with the corrections that Heather.
yeah, and then we'll leave it on or off depending
Yeah.
on what you find out.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'll support.
I know you can make a the PowerPoint a PDF file. I'm 99% certain. that you can do that, so.
Trustee Foster,
Yes.
trustee Wright,
Yes.
treasurer Jarvis,
Yes.
supervisor, clerk Kuziak, yes, supervisor Arts.
Yes,
Minutes passed.
motion carries. Okay, I have too many pieces of paper here. Okay, next on the agenda would be the treasurer's report.
Our September 1st, 2021 general fund beginning balance was $1,032,644.78. Our revenues totaled $195,397.09. Our expenditures totaled $46,560.79, leaving us with an ending balance of $1,181,481.08. One of the reasons why our revenues were so high is because we received the first half of our American Rescue Plan Act funds. That amount was $173,802.
Yay.
Yeah. And then also in the report, you can see there's a budget amendment. When we created the budget, we were putting our senior millage money under the state grants other account number. After talking with the auditor, he said it's really, since it's not from the state, you really shouldn't put it there, put it under local revenue. So it's just changing the account number. That's all it is. There's no money changing, it's just the account number.
I'll make a motion to accept the proposed budget amendment.
I'll second.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, hearing
Trustee-
none.
Oops, sorry.
No, no.
Trustee Wright,
Yes.
treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, supervisor Arts.
Yes. Okay, we'll place that on file. Thank you, Heather. Okay. Our disbursements.
Okay, there was nothing out of the ordinary, but I would like to mention that I don't want everybody to get blown away next month because I had to pay for Tyler Road, I had to pay for Michelinda Road, and I had to pay for the half of the contract to the fire department. So I sent out $114,000 today, and I still have to do the fire department. I haven't done them yet. So next month, you're going to see a large disbursement out of the account.
Get it over with.
I just didn't want you to freak out next month when you see the disbursement, so I'm giving you a heads up.
Okay. So may I have a motion to pay the regular monthly bills, so.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, may I have a
Trustee
roll
Wright?
call?
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis?
Yes.
Trustee Foster?
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Arts?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, let's see. Now we have department reports. So I can see.
Do they give them, or do we just read them?
You all had a chance to read through the department reports, the assessing and zoning. Do you have any questions of Lorraine and or Martha?
I have none.
Martha's shaking her head violently back there.
She's hiding.
I don't
She's hiding in the
She's
back
hiding.
row. She's hiding with Chuck.
No?
Nope.
Do either of you have anything you want to say?
Keeping us busy.
Yeah, very busy. Zoning is keeping us very busy. A lot of zoning questions of late. If they're not for this township, they're for the Cedar Creek up north.
I had 3 phone calls today for Wexford County.
For Wexford
She kept
County.
going, Wrong
Yeah.
county. I have the number for the treasurer. Would you like that?
Yeah. I had one for the one up north as well, so,
I think Cheryl did too.
yeah. So, yeah, they
They
need to.
pipe in Cedar Creek Township and we come up and realtors are the ones giving them our number. It's like, really, realtor, you don't realize what county you're looking at?
I told Lorraine I was fairly certain it was for the wrong Cedar Creek Township because I recognized that name as being a name very common to that Cedar Creek Township. So, interesting. Okay, well, thank you for your reports, we appreciated it. And one thing I would note in Lorraine's report, that it was about equal to a year ago, so, which is pretty interesting, I thought. So that's kind of something to keep in mind, that we're staying pretty busy, staying on top of things. So, thank you for your reports, I appreciate it. Correspondence. Stephanie, do you have any correspondence?
No, just the one that you have on there.
Okay.
Just the Brickyard Road.
Yes. I have you'll recall that, several months ago, we approved paving our roads, two of our roads, Tyler Road and Brickyard Road. And at the time, a year ago, we talked about paving roads. When we all met, we talked about paving our roads. They were two on the PACER report. PACER is, Bob, if you'll explain what a PACER report is.
Well, a PACER report tells you the shape of the roads, and Brickyard was a bad road, Tyler was a bad road,
It's-
Brickyard down here was a bad road, I mean,
It's the,
And
it's
it's,
the level of the,
level, yeah, which, one's very good, two, you know, but it, so on and so forth, but sometimes they'll bring the numbers backwards. So from a 5 to a 1, 1 being the worst.
Okay.
yeah, ours were
But-
at the,
Yeah,
ours were
ours-
at the
Now,
bottom.
Yeah.
we,
Ours
there's
were
two-
reversed.
MDOT does it total opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
And
what
we
was
see-
confusing me.
We see both sides of it,
Yeah,
and I think the road commission does theirs that way, and then MDOT, but,
yeah.
yeah.
Ours were,
Okay.
the scale we were looking at was the
One was
lowest,
the
worst.
the two was
Right.
the lowest.
Yeah,
So,
But
that's
the
why I
report-
looked over
like I
when you
say,
said
we-
that, I went, wait a minute.
We see two, cause MDOT does theirs different,
Yeah.
state,
Okay.
yeah,
so.
so we
Gotcha.
were looking at.
Thank you for letting me know that,
Yeah.
'cause I was.
31, 120, Maple Island Road, them are, all MDOT roads.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were looking
Gotcha.
at two being the lowest. So by the time we got around to paving these two roads, they were probably at a rating of about a 1. So I got a letter from Mark Addison, who lives on Brickyard Road, and I'm going to read that for you, and it's just a brief one. I just want to start by telling you all, job well done from all the neighbors here on Brickyard Road. It's been a joy driving down a brand-new road. This road was paved at least 70 years ago and just patched up since. This tells us that the township is moving ahead and not backwards. You need to pat yourselves on the back. Thank you again, Mark Addison. So 70 years is a long time to be driving down a road that was quite literally nothing but potholes. And I mean, Stephanie and I drove
Drove
down
it.
it.
I wasn't going real
But then
fast in my car.
again, down here on Brickyard,
Oh, those people are
we
actually.
got complaints,
Because they're going too fast to go to the
cause
river.
now the road was fine before, now they're going too fast up the road, so.
But one of the roads that Linda just read about is one of the roads that I just mentioned that I paid this month to have taken care of,
Yeah.
so.
So, but Mark is not the only person that thanked us for doing this road. And on behalf of the board, I do attend the road commission meetings, and I did thank their board as well. because they literally did, when everything comes together, they replaced a culvert that failed. It was due to the culvert was very old, it failed. The road commission was literally, we met a citizen out there, Kathy Olson and I met a citizen out there when he complained and said, this culvert is going to fail. We went right out there. I then called the road commission. The road commission immediately went out there, and then they had a crew out right away. They put in a temporary culvert, then they replaced the culvert. The road commission normally would not be able to replace the road until the following year, next year. They were able to right away
Within a month.
work in getting the roads repaired this year rather than next year. So talk about things coming together immediately. Everything literally just happened as it should. So we were really grateful, and I
Made
was
the right
able to thank their board as well. So I'm really happy that things happened as they did. So with that said, we'll move right along to public comments on agenda items only. Anyone have an agenda item they'd like to make a comment on? Going once, going twice?
None.
Public comments on agenda items. Okay, there's no unfinished business. I will comment that just before on unfinished business, I had asked that our attorney get our policy and procedures to us for this meeting. 15 minutes before the end of the day, he in fact did that. It was too late, so it will be on that will be the unfinished business for the November meeting. So you can expect that for November. On to new business then. Yeah. I'm going to read this word for word, actually, because there's a demolition of property located at 5804 Maple Road. This has been a very difficult case. The township has been working with this resident since 2005 on cleanup issues. The file is thick and very well documented. Nothing about this makes us feel good, but it has become a safety and quality of life situation, not only for the resident, but also for the neighbors. The area in which the resident lives was built before modern-day zoning ordinances were enacted. Therefore, the amount of garbage is of great concern in a home that is approximately 7 to 9 feet from that of the home next door. This represents the possibility of fire hazards and rodent infestations. The inside of the home is an extreme hoarding situation. We have followed all steps dictated in the court order, and the resident has failed to comply. The resident has had additional time. Today, I received a call from the resident proposing a plan for an additional 60 days, after which time the house would be empty and placed on the market. During the conversation, the resident allowed for more time should it be needed. This request has been an ongoing issue which has never resulted in compliance and bears true from outside agencies who have made attempts to assist the resident. For this reason, both Lorraine and I recommend going forward with the approval of the bid submitted by Press's Demolition. may I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to go ahead with the recommendation from Presses and take care of the situation in demolition of the house.
I'll support.
Does anyone have any questions or further discussion?
Is Press Demolition the Jaeger business from Holton?
Yes.
Is that a proper thing for us to do, to use another township's business for
That's
ours?
his,
Is that
that's
okay?
his business, and we had 5 bids come in.
Yeah,
and
I've
his-
seen the bids, and I
but
know his was reasonable. He does a
his-
great job.
And I mean, he did my house when it burnt down, and he's done several jobs where I've worked around where I've worked. They do a wonderful job, they do great cleanup, they are very easy to work with, and he's been doing this for years, and he had the best bid.
Yeah, well, I seen the bids in here, but I was just curious if that was a proper.
It
Yeah,
is
no,
the-
it's a
that
separate
we
entity
can
from,
do.
yes.
Okay.
In fact, it is my understanding, during a supervisor's meeting I had, the majority of the townships do use him.
Okay. I'm
But
just
that was a
curious
good
if that was
question. No,
okay
that was a
to
good
do.
It
question.
was an excellent question, Peggy.
My next question is, what are we planning on doing with this? Do we pay for the demolition?
We pay for the
So-
demolition.
And it says something about getting refunded from
We will get,
who?
I can tell you,
Special
there will
assessment.
be no refunds from anyone. We will get no money out of this. We will,
If I lose.
we're, if you saw in my original memo to you,
Yes,
there is a substantial amount of lien.
yes,
No one is getting any money.
right.
In a similar situation, we paid for the demolition, we had a court order, we put that money on a winter tax bill as a lien against the property. The taxes were not paid for 3 years, they went into the land bank.
Is it in the land bank right now?
No, that one
No.
isn't, she's just giving you an
giving that
example of a
example.
critical one.
If the property owner chooses not to pay the taxes and it gets taken over by the county and it goes into the land bank, they will sell it at auction. This is what happened before. And what they did was, at the close of when everything, after 3 years, we got the
Option.
county paid that special assessment
They
to
did
us.
that. Okay,
They were able to resell that property. The person who bought the property paid enough that it reimbursed the county, and we never had to pay the county back for that special assessment. Does that make sense? I feel
Yes.
like I'm not explaining it
And-
very
and
well.
that will happen with this one
I
too.
just
We're
wondered,
just,
because I don't like taking losses for our
Yep.
township, if this is what's going to
Yep.
happen, without any way of payment back.
but this
Because
is
you
Yeah.
a
can't, you
necessity.
can't
This
get blood out of a turnip.
This,
Yep.
well,
Okay.
this is a turnip in terms of
Yeah.
that. I mean, this individual will not be able to pay,
Right, or
so,
that individual would have done that by now.
by now, yeah.
But the
So-
house is to the point where it can't be there anymore.
Okay.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So this person doesn't live there anymore? It is vacated, even though it is,
I don't believe that to be the
She
case.
stays sometimes, she's been gone for over a week now, so
It's bad.
yeah.
I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, no. But if she doesn't continue to pay the taxes, it could be the same thing. Somebody might want that property out there, they're gonna pay it.
Oh, is that what
I
it
just
was?
wanna make
Okay.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
but we are on the
If it had burned down.
thought process,
all the insurance.
we're not planning on it.
Okay.
We're not in the,
So,
we're
so
not
going back to my
anticipating
next
getting any
question,
money.
not that I'm defending or not defending, because I don't know who this person is. Do we have the right to, how should I say, we called it hoarding. Hoarding's not a crime. We can't go after a crime, so this is something
But
criminal.
we can go
So something,
after-
can we as a township go after that since it's not a crime? We're not the police to go after a crime. I'm just curious.
Let
question.
Lorraine answer on
Curious
that.
question.
Yeah.
I have a couple comments. We're not going after the person because she's a hoarder.
the building inspector tagged the house substandard because of the condition of the house.
How did you get inside
He-
the house to see that it was hoarded?
She cleared a small path.
And that you.
It's considered substandard even due to the exterior. The yard was full of items. I had it written up in a ticket written for the outside. She got that cleaned. But it's not, what's happening isn't because she's a hoarder, it's because of the condition of the house. It's substandard dangerous. My two comments I wanted to say before you asked that question was, there's so many dollars in liens on that property. The township's probably not gonna get anything back. It's my opinion, you owe it to the neighbors. You can't drive up without the smell hitting you in the face.
Like I said, I have not made
And
that
I
very.
feel like the neighbors deserve to have a safe property.
And it has been going on since 2005.
There's
I've heard
a,
a little bit from you in previous
Mhm.
planning commission meetings, previous you talked about it during there. Is that the same situation? Same person, or is this a different person?
I don't remember talking about it in planning
There's
commission.
a memo in the packet where Lorraine goes through every step since 2005 that they've taken with this property.
So I've
That's my
heard that
question.
before.
Why did it take so long? 2005?
Yeah.
Because she kept offering
Promises.
promises, just like she just did today, and never follows through, and
That
our
just don't
building
make us
inspector
as a
kept
board
trying to
look
help her,
very-
and Linda kept
Very
trying to help
good,
her.
you know, to
Yeah.
let something like that and the residents
It is-
to go through that for
Yeah.
that long of.
So how do you stop her from
Period
coming
of
in?
time.
I would like to offer this as well. If we delay, and if we as a township delay in this, and
But we have a court order too.
we have a
remember
court,
that.
we have a, and
Oh, I'm
I
not
would,
delaying.
I would also,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I would also like to make this, two statements. If we delay, we're doing a disservice to the neighbors, but we're also doing a further disservice to this township.
Right.
Because if this continues, then the next time this continues, then it means it will get worse. The external, the yard did get cleaned up because we forced that. But it will, in fact, it is proven time after time after time, the yard built up, and it just piled up, and it was unbelievable. And I'd like to say the judge did not blink an eye in issuing this order. Lorraine made the statement, he said, right away, he issued the court order.
It was a Zoom hearing, and we had to show the pictures over the computer, which is to the ceiling board. And the owner made a statement, our attorney made a statement, and the judge said the order granted to the township.
There were no questions about
There
it.
was no hesitation.
But
The
if-
pictures showed it all.
Right.
You don't know what's underneath. The electrical's probably destroyed. There's no heat in the house. There's no water.
This resident has been staying in this home, which in fact, the resident was not allowed to stay in the home, was going into the home, living vertically, from what we can tell, on piles of trash. But if we allow this to continue, we will have to go back to court, incur further legal costs.
Cost to the township.
And this then falls back on us.
Well,
So
let's vote.
why would we do
Are
that
you
to
ready to
us?
vote?
Oh, I'm ready to vote. I just
Okay.
needed to have my questions answered
Yeah.
because I had a curiosity.
Trustee
Okay.
Wright.
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Trustee Foster. Or Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Arts.
Yes,
Okay.
motion carries. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the MTA Professional Development. And we are bringing this virtual retreat option before the board as an alternative to the full attendance at the MTA Professional Development Retreat. The cost of the attendance at the retreat is the same as the virtual. However, lodging and travel expenses are not included in the package, which makes the option prohibitive. We included enough in our budget when we worked on that last April, I believe it was, in our education budget to cover the cost of the virtual retreat for each of the board members, should you wish to attend. You receive the information in your MTA Township Focus magazine. We will register you if you wish to attend, but that of course is up to you. According to the clerk, we have a resolution somewhere of old.
Well, I don't think it's that old, but it's
Okay.
just, most of our policies were done in resolutions, and somewhere along the lines, we're gonna have to go from book to book to book of all our resolutions and find out what they're stating and turn it to the policy, because otherwise I have to continue to go back and look for it. But I know that that was always from the time I started, and I know we renewed it, that 2 board members have to approve any training.
So
So
and I
if
was
you
not
wanna
willing
go,
to
Bob,
go
2 of us
through
have to
and-
approve it.
Yeah, I was not willing to search through all this resolution books to find out where that is. So I'm gonna take Stephanie at her word that we need 2 board members to approve this resolution. So, it doesn't mean that you're committed to attend, only that we're going to give you the option through this vote to attend if you wish to do it.
So I would
I'll
like,
pass myself.
I would like to make a motion that will fix all this, that the board approves any of this virtual training at this time, and if any of you decide you want to go, now as you can see, mine's tomorrow and Thursday, so I'm not going.
And I'll pass on mine too.
Okay, so, but I know Peggy was
Yeah,
interested
I
in
have
it.
an interest, and I don't mind doing it virtual, but I feel that if you're in person, you learn more, and you've got more one-on-one questions if you've got questions. And I'm willing to pay whatever's left over. And
Well, if you want to pay your lodging, that would be up
I-
to you.
I could
I
pay-
could still
yeah.
register you,
Yeah.
but with what we budgeted last year for training, and I think a lot of it was because of COVID too, and we didn't
We
expect.
didn't do anything
And we had a
last
lot of
year
other
because of
things we
that.
wanted to
Yeah.
do. As much as we have in the budget is just going to cover the virtual, but that's your choice, Peggy. I mean, if you, I know you like vacation, so if you wanna do that, you let me know, we'll work that
Okay,
out, call
I
me
will.
tomorrow and.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
But I'd
on
like the
that
motion that this is approved by the whole board, so we don't have to worry about the
Okay.
2 when they call me right now.
Okay. All right,
So I need a
So-
second,
Second.
okay.
all right, any discussion on this?
Trustee Wright?
How do you want us to vote on this?
You're just voting that it's okay if somebody wants to go, the board's
Yes.
already approving it.
All right.
So they don't have to have 2 people say
Okay.
okay after the fact. Treasurer Jarvis?
Yes.
Trustee Foster? Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Art?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing is Robert Tolen Consulting for Planning and Community Development Services. You have in front of you a letter from Robert Bob Tolen Consultant. And as he explained in that briefing, his area of expertise is in planning and zoning, as well as specialized services in the area of park planning for the DNR requirements should we wish to seek a state grant for Parks and Rec planning and other grants. We have a fully capable zoning administrator here who's highly qualified, so it has absolutely nothing to do with that at all. But this is should we decide to have Mr. Tolen on board for any specialized needs. That's all this is about. It would be just on an as-needed basis. That's all this is. And as Lorraine and I we talked for a few minutes before the meeting, and his letter doesn't specifically state, he was really hitting us up, I think, for monthly services. There's just no way in God's green earth.
That was what he wanted.
I was gonna say, I was hoping you would
That's how
say that.
that's how I read it here too.
That's kind of the way I
Nice
feel.
guy, had lots of information, but way out of the
Yeah,
budget.
no, I'm sorry, Mr. Tolen, if you watch this, but.
We can't afford you.
That's just not in our budget, but we would consider, an as-needed basis for a monthly fee. I mean, not a monthly fee, and, the fee, I think he discussed with us was $350 for a meeting. And
That's
plus,
beside the fee,
plus
that's plus the fee
expenses.
added on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to choke on that one, I have to tell you, even at that, I did.
I'm glad we feel the same.
Yeah, but this, quite frankly, would be if Lorraine felt there was a need for, some specialized service.
So he would be available
Yeah,
if
he
we
would-
wanted
if-
to.
If, yes, and I need to stress that, it's literally if we need it. And Parks and Rec plans, those are expensive. And most people hire their Parks and
Right.
Parks and Recreation plans outside, because they're not easy to do. So there may be a case where I would need to have somebody, use their expertise for some of that. Now, I'm a good writer, but we all know I need help with the editing.
Myself also.
Good thing we got two really good people that do that,
Yeah.
Heather and Cheryl.
So, but that is one of his areas. So those are the instances that I can see where we may need him for something like that. So I'm coming before you to ask, in the event we need him, I'm asking for your approval to call upon him, should he be needed.
I guess I'd like to know what the reasoning is before I say yes.
I just outlined what his reasoning is.
I don't.
Well,
Did he give you a estimated price for the as needed?
Right, that was my question, but I didn't know when to
Oh,
ask
no.
that question. So I don't wanna approve this unless you find out how much it is as an as needed.
or that would be my
amount.
motion. I would be okay with you contacting him, but I would still want board approval for the full amount of what the project is first.
Okay.
So
Then-
if you have a project that you think he needs help on, can you call him up, say, we've got this coming before us, can you give us an estimate of what you would charge to come in and help us with this?
And then bring it to the
that
board
amount
for the
board.
approval.
Yes, that's how. I-
No, we could do that.
Can't-
We could do that.
that's how
Well,
I
'cause
would do
some
it.
of the
I think
projects
we
might get
could
large.
do that ourselves.
I think we are all.
Myself.
Well,
I
the
think we
planning
are all
commission,
capable of doing,
Lorraine,
Lorraine, all of us are all capable.
she's
If we're
gave
not
us good
capable, then we
direction
need to be
before.
sent to class to learn it.
Well, no, because part of it is too, I mean, most townships don't get grants, and they hire people to do that. We're very fortunate, we have somebody that's sitting here that writes those grants for
Right,
us, so we don't
so-
have to hire
correct.
somebody. What I think Lorraine is stating is he's an expertise that can get into some things that are outside of our realm. And it's gonna cost us more on some things without the correct advice. So I don't have any problem bringing an expert in, especially if Lorraine feels we need an expert on a project. I just think it needs to come to the board before we just hire him. I don't think we should just give a
I
blanket
think
to.
Lorraine is
Correct.
our expert.
Well,
Myself.
No, Lorraine is.
I'm
Lorraine-
sorry,
Pat
but
yourself on the back, Lorraine.
Lorraine is our expert, but she has literally gone to seek expert help outside. She's found some additional experts too. She has found some additional experts, in other areas. So, she has found some people. The Parks and Recs plan, that's not so easy to find. They pay a lot of big bucks for those people.
And
if
you
we
can
could
turn
get
it
it done
down.
for $350, I'm good, but if
Well,
we're gonna
that's why
have
I'm
10,
saying,
12
Bob, I
meetings,
don't have a problem.
that's a lot of money.
I don't have
No,
a problem
I
with this
don't have
gentleman.
I'm not arguing with any of you. I don't have a problem with exactly what you asked.
is to get
So,
proof before
Yeah,
of the
no,
cost.
No, I'm not having a problem with any of that.
So I,
Well, that's
Yeah.
good discussion.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would like to make a motion to keep Robert Tolen Consulting available to the township if and when needed, but the project has to be presented before the board before
I
approved.
think that's a fine
Yeah.
outcome.
Okay, I need a
Before the
second.
board first, yep.
I'll support.
Thank you. Any more discussion? I think we
No,
discussed
I
it.
think I think that's
Trustee
the
Wright?
outcome.
No,
When you said no, are you meaning altogether, completely, no?
well,
He
just,
doesn't
I'm a
want
no
him.
vote.
Yeah, he's a no
I
vote.
just think
You don't think
I
it's
trust-
necessary? Okay.
the people we have in our township, I think, can help.
I do too, but I think if they say, we need some help with this, we
Well-
should give it to them.
People didn't think we could do the master plan, and some of the other townships spent $40,000 on theirs, and
We didn't
we
need
didn't. And it
But
took
we
us a
figured
long
that
time,
out.
but we did it.
Yeah, and all we're
So-
saying is if we feel we need it, then we'll use them, so,
Well,
but
like I
that's
said, I'm
fine.
only one vote.
Are
Yep,
there-
that's fine.
Are there
He has a right
other-
to his opinion.
Are there other people?
I don't think this
besides
needs a
this
vote.
one?
No, it really doesn't.
Because you're gonna bring
you're
it to
gonna
us
vote on
anyway?
it
All
whether-
right, well,
I
then we'll
don't
just
think
go
I
with
don't think it
they need
requires
them,
a
they'll bring it
vote.
to you then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds like a plan.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Does the motion just die? then?
Yeah, we decided we don't need the motion.
Yeah, I think it, I think.
And I
it
never got a
didn't-
second anyway.
Yeah.
I thought Heather.
I
Oh, you did second it, I'm sorry,
Nobody
but then we
listens.
decided
Oh,
it
you
was.
did? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, I did
But
not.
I agree with,
Take it back and drop it.
yeah. Because you're gonna have to bring it forward again.
So if you did bring a second to it,
Does she withdraw?
I withdraw my motion,
oh, if you
Not
withdraw your
necessary,
motion,
yep.
then, okay. If you withdraw your motion, then
Yeah.
it dies.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, with that said, then, the next item is board comments, and I would like to start first, if I
Yes,
could.
you may.
Thank you, thank you.
I second.
Start poking
How
you with my-
informal is this? I want to start first because I want to thank some of our members for their hard work this time. And Mr. Wright has been out power washing twice recently.
Month.
And I don't know if it's this month, but in recent times, he's been out here power washing the township hall. And once by himself and once with Mr. Arts. So, and it's a lot of work. While the township hall is small, it's tall.
You do have one heck of a small thing, I watched it.
And it's a lot of work and it's definitely not fun. And this would have cost the township a lot of money. So I really want to thank you and let you know
Well,
how
I
much
think
we
that's some of
appreciate
the things that we can do. You know, I'm not retired yet, but January 7th's coming, I'll be retired. I can do more.
We'll start making a
You
list.
know,
Yeah.
so,
And I just
no,
want
I
you-
like to give back to my township.
Well,
I
and
think.
we appreciate it, and really do appreciate it. And he made a list of things that need to be done, so that's on our list here. And Mr. Arts has been crawling up on the ceiling,
Roof.
on the roof.
Yeah,
and
on the ceiling.
replacing shingles, so he may be old, but he's nimble. And I can say that because he's my husband, so.
He's got a piece of siding to
Yeah,
re-nail
to-
on the front.
Yeah, to
so.
fix, so, and Ms. Foster. So, she took upon herself to organize the Muskegon Oceana Community Action Partnership, to organize this bit of, extra assistance for families that are in need. Stephanie's getting the bag here. This is going to be happening tomorrow. So, for families that need to put a little extra food in their cupboards, Peggy put this together, and it's going to be happening quarterly in our township. So I really appreciate that. And then.
And there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, those bags are heavy, and it was hot in here when we were stuffing those bags yesterday.
Yes. We got more to go,
We
don't
weren't
we?
even working in here
Yeah.
today and it was hot,
Did you do some more today?
No, we
No.
didn't.
So that's
Nice.
we're going to be giving those bags out tomorrow, so.
What's the
And,
hours for tomorrow?
8:30 to 4:30
So you're gonna
tomorrow.
start it right at 8:30?
No, I'm
Nine.
sorry,
9 to
9 o'clock,
4:30.
9 o'clock to 4:30.
We were gonna do it shorter and I said, we're here all day, don't have them have to
Well,
race
we
in here
only
for 3
have
hours.
50 bags.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
only
really
have
gonna
50
go
bags.
quick. It's gonna go very quick.
Yeah. So, and then Heather mentioned earlier that we receive 50% of our ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan Act funds. We have all been sitting in on these, their Zoom meetings where we're learning about what we can and can't do with these funds. Rest assured, this isn't easy because there's a lot of knowledge that goes into what can be done and what can't be done. And we will spend these funds wisely, but we won't do it without board action. And you have to commit to what you're going to be doing with these funds by 2024, and you must spend the funds by 2026. So we have been told that the best way to do this is do it slow and steady, and make your plans very cautiously, and we are doing that. The slow and steady wins the race here. So we are thinking this through very, very, very carefully. And while we have some ideas for the kinds of things that are good for this township, rest assured, we're dealing with the money is funneled through the state. It comes through the federal government. But guess what? The rules for how you spend this change. And because I'm not going to say anything disparaging, but often the rules don't come in time, and they're a little bit slow to the race, so that's why it's slow and steady. And we are very, very cautious about how we're doing
And
things.
don't spend it all real quick.
No,
No,
we're
you
not.
have to have a lot of
We are
consideration
not.
of what we're
Yeah.
spending it on, what
Yeah.
that
Take
cost is
your
gonna
time
be,
till
how's
close
it
to
gonna
the
help.
end, till
Yeah,
close to the end.
we are very, very cautious about how we're doing this, and we will all be part of this, and what we do will be for the good, for the benefit
And
of
it
this
has to be.
township.
Those are
So,
rules.
and it will be for the benefit of all. So, we want you all to know that. So, and we're getting $347,600 and some dollars.
They wrote it down.
Yeah, some cents. So, and we wrote for our senior millage funding, and that was approved almost right away. And Stephanie and I ordered the lifts that we talked about in one of our meetings here, and there are two of them that came right away, almost immediately for the fire department. One is on back order. As soon as, relatively soon, we'll do a photo op, because we promised we want to do something that shows the good work that we're doing too with the fire departments. They were really excited about receiving these through the senior millage funding. So we'll want something for our newsletter, and we'll also want something to happen in the Senior Perspectives newsletter as well. So, and that's all I've had for my board comments. Who's next?
No, I'm going last, thank you.
You're going last?
I'm going last.
All
Okay.
right, you're next.
I don't have any comments this month.
So is-
I got a couple comments. No, go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Mine might take a little bit, because this is something else that Linda and I have been working on. And I believe, isn't it November 5th? We
November
kind of
5th.
have a date in mind that we are going to have a senior gathering here. We'll probably only have like, what we discussed, donuts and cider and maybe some cookies from Reich's if they're making some really nice stuff, you know. And I went ahead and also got a speaker for that day for us. And so we are going to get a speaker from Safe Seniors, and they're going to come in and give an approximately 30-minute speech, and the speech is going to be called Not Everyone is Your Friend. And this is going to be talking about what the seniors need to be looking out for when you get these robocalls and you get, you know, some silly mailings that you get in the mail, you know, that they fall for, and they could take their savings, their complete savings. So we got this kind of going under par. So I've even got a little project, we can do a little arts and crafts, you know, during it too, something simple for everyone to do.
Do we have a date?
Yes, we have it on the 5th, November 5th, and I think it's, what is it, 2 o'clock in
2
the
o'clock.
afternoon? So Linda and I are working on this and trying to get this going. This will be our first senior gathering. It'll be co-ed for both, male and female, and hopefully the little project, a little arts and crafts I've come across that, you know, we would have fun doing that. So it's going to be a fun 2 to 3 hours.
That's
something
part
like
of our
that.
senior
Awesome.
millage.
Part of the Cedar Millage Fund. So
Good job, guys.
we are working on that. And I really don't have anything to report yet from the senior millage meeting because my meeting is not till Tuesday of this next week. So I should have something to report next time we have our meeting. Okay? That's about what I have. Just wanted to catch up.
All right, natural gas update. I talked to Cheryl Hartman, October 6th. We still have people getting hooked up now. If you noticed on Ryerson Road, they were putting gas line to houses today. I think we got some on Holton Duck Lake down the road that are still gonna get hooked up. She said we should be gassed up end of October, early November. So it's not the end of October, the first week of November. She thinks sometime November 1st. So I've ordered my meter. I got my natural gas meter ordered, and I got Bishop's coming up November 1st to my house.
I'm running out of propane.
Well, you'll,
Where can I do my drying? Where?
you got a
She does,
wood
she won't
burner.
have a dryer.
I don't.
No,
I
her dryer
have a
for her
propane.
clothes. She can't do laundry.
I
We're gonna
can
be finding
shower,
clothes that
You
she's
can do
never
a
worn.
partial fill
I guess
with your propane
vision
company.
big
You
basket,
can
yeah.
do
You do
a
it.
partial fill,
I
so,
will not do well without laundry.
so they are still hooking natural gas up. And the reason the delays are because they're bringing gas in from both directions.
Well, I
They're
noticed,
bringing
is
in
that what
from
they're
River
doing on
Road,
River Road?
And they're bringing it in from Holton, because Holton didn't have enough, so they're bringing it together so we all have.
Perfect.
And they
I wondered
wanna
with them down there.
pressure up all at once.
Who did you talk to, Bob?
Cheryl Hartman. She is the sales.
We were told not until the middle of November.
Oh,
When did you call?
Rich just called because we're getting a new furnace in, and the furnace guy don't wanna do it until that comes through. And he called the lady that signed us up, and she said it wouldn't be until the middle of November.
Maybe
And
we
our
need to make a
gas
phone
line's
call,
already up to our
Linda.
house.
I did make a
Oh,
phone
mine's-
call.
I'm down the road.
but you
the
got
dryer
people on Ryerson that
Ain't
still
gonna let
doing it.
clothes on him.
But,
In the middle of November?
Freeze dry.
They'll be froze. Yeah,
I
carry
got
them
my
in.
furnace
Right.
put in and all that stuff done, so, that's what she told me, so.
Well, the township's just as bad off
I got an
because we don't
email
have
too,
anything
so I
either,
gotta
so
do
if the
both.
propane goes out, it's only
And
for
I
a
can show
generator,
you
we
the
don't have heat.
I can't
But-
remember what the lady's name was.
On natural gas, that's where I am. October 2nd, we had John Bell fundraiser over at 7 Mile End. We did a motorcycle poker run, raised just under $24,000.
Oh, Bob, that's awesome.
So that
Wow.
turned out great. I seen Martha there.
Bikers bring
but
in lots of money.
I was up at the auction table trying to make sure
I'm
that
one of them.
my numbers weren't
We
being
used to do
increased, but,
40,000 a year with the
yeah, it was a great event.
Oh,
every
wow.
year.
And in the motorcycle run, we left Copper Top Tavern that's over by Woodsville somewhere, and man, did the rain come down.
I know, Tony.
We went
Oh,
from
yeah.
55, 60 down to 30.
And we're
And
soaking
then
wet.
there was probably, and there was 160 motorcycles that started this. And I was probably in the front with about 10. All of a sudden, we're 4. We looked behind us, nobody. And we pulled off, put rain suits on, and then drove into the Newego to the Sportsman Bar. And I walked in there, and the lady's looking at me, and she goes, "Is it raining out?" Yes, ma'am. It's
No, I
raining.
just got-
But it was a great event. It was a good time. So I wish that family well. So,
I heard
that's
he
all
is doing much better. His daughter came in and said he's doing better. So that's a good sign.
Well, congratulations for pulling off such a great event.
Tony Barnes had fun too.
He would.
He was with us. I love Tony Barnes. That's all
Okay.
right.
Is that it?
Motion to adjourn?
Okay.
No.
Bear with me,
Oh.
please, because this might get a little emotional. To the Cedar Creek Township Board, this letter represents my official notice of retirement as Cedar Creek Township Clerk effective January 31st, 2022. I have spent the last 15 years of my life as the clerk for Cedar Creek Township. I have learned so much about this community that I love and the people who live here. Many of you have become great friends. Thank you, everyone, for all your kindness and your support over the years. Though I will be sad to leave this position, I am eager for the opportunity to spend more time with my children, taking care of my 91-year-old mother, and just enjoying life. And to add to that, planning a wedding because my youngest just got engaged. As it is the board's responsibility to appoint my replacement, I'm asking this board to accept my recommendation and make a motion tonight and appoint Mr. Chuck Skinner as your new township clerk. Mr. Skinner is highly qualified for this job. One of the major functions of the clerk's job is to manage and oversee the elections. Mr. Skinner has experience as an election worker and as an election chair precinct for the city of Muskegon. Next year will be a very busy election year here, and Mr. Skinner's experience is greatly needed here and will be a great asset. I also believe that Mr. Skinner will be a great asset to this board. Mr. Skinner has been an invaluable volunteer. He has been involved with the township since he moved here several years ago, which I believe was probably 18.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can always count on him to lend a hand whatever we need. I appreciate all the opportunities and all of the relationships I've made, and I wish you all the best. It's just time for me to retire.
No.
So I would ask for you guys to make a motion and consider Mr. Skinner so I can get him trained. That's my announcement.
Well, I'm very sad to see you go. I work with Steph more than anybody, I think, except for Linda. And she and I have a very good work relationship.
Thank you.
And I do think that Chuck would be invaluable. You failed to mention his math
Oh,
background.
his math
Yeah,
background is
math
unbelievable.
So I think he can step right into the accounting side of things, and I think he'll be a big help to me with the budget and all of the financial stuff that I have to deal with. So I do think he's a good choice, and I will make that motion.
Thank you.
I will second it.
I will say one more thing so that you guys do know I will not be voting on this. And Mr. Skinner will have to run for this position next year. You are appointing him to take over now. He will have to run with the primary and with the November election. So he has to put his name on a ballot, and that is because I am not fulfilling half of my term. So, you need to keep that in mind. This is just going to really be to get somebody in here, and I pray to God he stays, because I do really believe, and I'm cutting myself, but I think he'll do a better job than I've done, because he has so much education behind him and so much mathematics behind him. He is going to be such a help for you guys for this budget and for what you guys coming with the ARP money and everything. So I'm looking for a second.
I did a second.
Oh, you seconded, okay. So I will make a roll call. Bob?
Yes.
Is this open for discussion first?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. Because I would like to ask Chuck, if I may, if I
Oh,
can ask him a
excuse
couple
me. No,
of
please.
questions. Chuck, I know that you are very involved in diving and doing many outside activities. What's gonna happen with what you are doing now, and if you were to come in as a clerk? Are you gonna be able, I mean, you take a lot of vacations, you are gone a lot, you are involved in many things. How are you going to handle that?
Thanks, Peggy. I take a lot of trips, it's true. This past year I took two, basically out of the country. Well, one to Hawaii and one to Cozumel. Each one was about a week or week and a half. So I think it's a manageable situation. I have elderly parents in upstate New York, and oftentimes I'll shoot over there for 3 or 4 days, help my dad, help my mom. I got family there. So, I do that, but I just get in the truck and fly over there. Can't wait for Canada to open up, it'll make it quicker. But I think I can handle it, especially with the, 3-day, 4-day work week here. It makes it pretty easy, and I like
Many
working.
times there are, just working the 3 days, many times there's other hours that you're gonna have to put in, and that could be maybe a Thursday, Friday, or a Saturday. I know that Stephanie works beyond her hours because of many things that need to be done.
Yep.
How are you gonna handle that? Because I think what I'm hearing from you, that you're only hoping to only work 3 days a week.
No.
So what's gonna happen
No.
if you do keep up with this lady right here?
No,
doing things that
and I
she
understand. I was gonna make a comment to the board, when it came to public comment. They thanked you for setting up the Muskegon Oceana food thing. And I was also gonna mention that Linda and Stephanie were there on a Thursday morning to help us.
And you were there.
And I'm used to that. I'm used to that. The tire drives and the food distributions and all that stuff. I can make it work. It's my wife and I. My core family's close. My oldest son is the furthest. He's in Norton Shores. So, I've got time. I'm retired twice, and I've honestly been looking kind of for something to do with a purpose, and I've thought about a couple things, but this one, when they talked to me about it, I gave it some good thought. I didn't give them an answer for over 2 weeks. I went and talked to Kim Young. We all know Kim, because she's a really good friend of mine and a supporter, and she and Mesh have offered to support and give me guidance where needed. And I've gotten to know some people, around the community by doing the census. And I reached out, when I did the census, one of the purposes I did that was so I could find out more about the township. And like Linda said, I moved here in 18, but I started attending meetings here in late 16 because I was buying the property and I wanted to know what I was getting into. And I started attending meetings then. So I can be as involved or uninvolved as I need to be as the schedule requires. And I'm not a 3-day week guy. So if it's Sunday, it's Sunday. If it's Saturday, it's Saturday.
Well, that was my curiosity question, because I know you keep very busy. And doing
Well,
things.
that's the thing,
You're
I-
a diving instructor, and you really get into a lot of
I do, but I dove in Cozumel 1 week this year, and in Hawaii I had a couple dives, with some friends. But, it's something I've been doing for 30+ years, but, it's what I do. I chop wood for my son, but, it's what I do. I just gotta stay busy. So, and this'll help. This puts a purpose and a label to what I do here, in a way, because they'll tell you, I'm in here.
every day.
Well, I would be if I could be, but I can't, I couldn't, but now I can be. So, I come in and say hi and check on things and what can I help with, and I really like to see this community grow and prosper, and that's important to me, and I know it is to you as well. So, if you guys approve me, I look forward to helping do that, so. Anytime.
Has anybody else offered you that position? Have you talked to any other people? for
No,
this position?
usually when something like this happens, and this is exactly how I got this job, was because when the clerk retires, they look for somebody they feel can replace them.
Okay.
And the thing, that's why I made sure you knew, you need somebody now. You have an election next year starting,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's a
he's
lot of work.
got to know, the new clerk has to know what they're doing with that election. Will I be around as much as I can be to help him? Absolutely, still. But he has sat down with me, he has gone through with me, and Chuck and I have talked about his time gone and everything. I don't think it's gonna be a problem because he's gonna work around us, not work around his vacations. And we all take vacations, but there's plenty of time. He is gonna work a lot of hours next year with the
No, we don't.
with election. What?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't what?
Take vacations.
Oh, well, you don't, I do.
We can't
Sorry,
better
my
you.
family comes. But, you also have to understand, if somebody else wants to run for this, they're gonna run next year. But right now,
Because of the term, he is on November, he is not here until 2024.
no, because I could ask you to appoint him and finish my term. But I have to fulfill 2 years of my 4-year term. I am only fulfilling a little over a year. So, this is, and I'm sorry to put you guys through that, I didn't really wanna do that, but things have made it
What if we
for me
twist your
to-
arm and leg and?
You're not gonna twist my arm. It's tight for me. There are things that have happened here that I will take with me, but this last year and a half has been very hard on me, and it is the best thing for me. And it's the best thing for my family, and for my 91-year-old mom, because she needs me. So, I love it here. Believe me, you guys might not like me, because I'm not gonna be on this side of the table now, I'm gonna be on that side, and I will be at the meetings. And I will make sure things are, I've been here for 15 years, I love my community. And I have made wonderful friends here, and only because I've been sitting on this board. And you could tell I choked up at the beginning. This isn't an easy decision, it really is not, but it's the best for me. And right now, at my age, it's time for me to take care of me. So, I love you all, but it's
Family
time for me
first.
to enjoy my family, and you're right, Bob.
It
Family
is,
comes
family
first.
first.
So thank you all very much.
And back to, yes.
Okay, vote. Okay.
Oh, yes,
yes.
okay, so Bob was a yes, Heather,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Peggy,
I'm gonna say no.
okay. Chuck, congratulations. You will be the new township clerk as of February 1st. And we will talk real soon about you coming in and start training. So welcome.
And I've already started.
Yes, you have. So thank you, everybody, and welcome Chuck. And
And that was a surprise. I know you talked about retirement before, but you said one more term.
yeah, I did,
But
but
I know, things happen. and
things are just.
You got a
time for
91-year-old
me
mother,
to-
spend time with her.
Yeah, time for me to go on, and like I said, I have a wedding to plan, so, and she wants it next year, and she just got
Hey, you
engaged
even
this
get to pay
weekend,
for
so.
it, so.
Yeah, no kidding, and I'm checking prices, believe me, it's not cheap, so.
Okay, public comments now. Anyone, public comments?
Thank you. I did really want to say thank you to Linda and Stephanie and Peggy for doing this food distribution thing with for the 50 bags. That's amazing. And we walked into an unknown situation last Thursday, and y'all brought it together. We filled up the cars, ordered the bags. They're getting stuffed. I'm going to try to come over tomorrow morning and help out a little bit, but great job. I really appreciate you doing that for the community, ladies. That was a good job.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to make a public comment?
Does Chuck get compensated?
There was a lady before you.
Excuse me.
I just have a question as far as DTE. You said you ordered your meter. How do you know, who did you talk to about ordering
I
the meter?
ordered it, and it's going to be there November 1st.
But she wants to know how you.
How did
But
you know to
if
order it?
If it's not gassed up, it won't come. If the line's not gassed.
Okay, I live right
So-
on Holt Duck Lake Road
But
here.
I was
But-
told that
We didn't get anything. We have not seen anybody since they put the line to
they're
the house.
supposed, as soon as these lines are in, they're gonna put door knockers on,
Yeah.
but
But then
I've
they
been
gotta order a
communicating
meter
with
too.
them since 2015 with DTE, and
I know you've been working on it.
I've been, and I'm constantly, I probably got 23 emails in the last month and a half from them, cause I try to get with them weekly and get that information, because I'm seeing other information out there that, you know, you're hearing people that are working out there putting them gas lines in. They have no idea when DTE is going to gas this up. They're just told to get that stuff in the ground. Crystal Lake, or Clear Lake subs, there was a bunch of folks come in late there. We didn't see them going up and down the road, but they were down there in the Clear Lake subs. So, you know, a lot of folks don't know that. Today they were working on Ryerson. I don't know if there was a crew on Holt and Duck Lake Road or not, so.
I haven't
But
seen
the
anybody.
cost will be more next year. I do know that. They said if you
But how do you
didn't,
get a meter for when you've got the right up to your house?
give me your information before you leave, and
Okay.
I will text you the number that, or whatever, call you and give you the number that you need to call for that meter,
I
because
appreciate that.
we're told the end of this month, beginning of November. So they'll know,
Okay, yeah, I
you
talked
know.
to the same person.
But I
talked
heard
to,
that
that's
somebody
same
had their meter come in like June or July. And they don't know how that even happened. Even the gas company's thinking, well, they do hire seasonal folks, and maybe somebody misunderstood their supervisor, and that happens
Okay.
at the road commission.
Thank you.
So, but before you leave, let me get your information.
I want your information. She's not the first resident to ask. I've had people stop in, and if they don't get a door hanger, they're calling the township and saying, how do I hook up? What do I need to do? So I need to get that number from you too.
Okay.
I don't have mine either. I don't
Are you
have
talking
nothing
about
on anything.
Cheryl Hartman's number?
I got Cheryl Hartman.
No, is that whose number you're
No,
talking about?
no, this
Oh.
is for the order the meter.
Oh,
It's
Is the meter
it's a different
free,
number.
But you just have to order it to be installed? Or is there another cost?
Well,
to
what
do
they
all
want you to do is they want you to have your gas service company, which mine is Bishop's. And the people bringing the meter out, they wanna meet out at the same day, but they wanna make sure that you already got gas at the road.
They don't wanna put a meter until that
So
gas
then
line is
they'll
running.
put the
But-
meter
but they
in,
put
and
the
then they'll
meter
do
in
the
or-
pressure test, all that at the same time. They wanna do that, and of course, Joe Hoskell will have to be there for the mechanical inspection also.
this could get so
Could
messed up.
But they do it all the time. That's how they do it.
Well, the problem is,
Communication.
it's, yeah, but nobody knows, because literally, I talked to Cheryl, and the date, because they keep adding people, and the date I got, and the date you got, and are very different. So,
I'll show you the email.
Should this information be given out to the public in some form about getting these meters pre-ordered before this all occurs?
Maybe we can do something.
You know,
They're not all getting.
I don't know how many more people are got to be hooked up.
well, you
know.
can't do it if you,
I seen one crew today. They were on Ryerson,
so,
down
okay,
towards
yeah.
Sharon.
This is,
Sharon.
I mean, we
it's,
still have people coming in pulling permits. I mean, one did today to, or was it yesterday, to have it hooked up to his house from a heating company, from like Bishop's or something, because they have to pull the
Well, they
permit.
gotta get it too, to get their furnace and
yeah,
stuff like
that's,
that.
you're gonna get a lot of that, I
Yep.
think, yet, so. Okay, Bill,
Belay my last, I withdraw my question.
why do you have to?
Go ahead.
No, that's all right. And as my fellow vet, I withdraw my question.
Okay, all right. Okay, any other public comments? Any other public comments? Going once, going twice? All right, that is it.
Motion to adjourn.
No, on public
Oh,
comment.
I thought you were saying we were
No.
done. I was like, wait a minute.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Heather did it.
Second.
Your
Bob.
second.
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
Stephanie, yes. Linda,
Yes.
7:15.